The Supreme Court heard arguments today in the case of a black man sentenced to death in Georgia for murdering a white woman. At issue is whether the prosecution illegally excluded blacks from the jury. Here's our chief legal correspondent, Jan Crawford.
Timothy Foster's jury was all white, but prosecutors denied racial bias when they struck every African American from the pool of prospective jurors. Then, 10 years ago, defense attorneys unearthed the prosecutor's notes.
What we really found was an arsenal of smoking guns.
Veteran death penalty attorney Stephen Bright is representing Foster.
The notes were shocking in terms of just how explicit the racial factor was.
The names of the potential African-American jurors were highlighted. And in this list of possible jurors titled Definite No's, the top 5 people were black. In the Supreme Court Monday, Georgia's Deputy Attorney General argued prosecutors had valid reasons for excluding African-American jurors in the 1987 trial, and had flagged the black prospective jurors to make sure they were following new Supreme Court guidelines handed down in a landmark 1986 case to prevent racial discrimination in jury selection. But a majority of the justices appeared skeptical. Liberal Justice Elena Kagan said the case seemed as clear a violation as the court is ever going to see of the court's 1986 guidelines. Conservative Justice Samuel Alito, a former U.S. attorney, also seemed troubled, asking, what about the giving a reason for dismissing one juror, that she was close in age to the defendant? She was in her 30s. He was 18 or 19.
Now today, some 30 years later, anti-death penalty groups say that racial discrimination in jury selection may be less obvious, but it still persists. But Scott, the court in this case is unlikely to address those bigger concerns.
Jan Crawford at the Supreme Court tonight. Jan, thank you.